Hey guys, welcome back to Guitar Lessons by E.O.A. And yes, Happy New Year! This is the first video of 2026. My name is Elizabeth, the owner and founder. So, in this video, we are going to be looking at substitutions again. So this video is Substitutions Part 3. So, whenever a major or minor chord is followed by a major minor or dominant chord whose root is a fourth higher, you may divide the duration of the chord in half and play a dominant chord with the same root in the second and a half allotted time. For example, so you got the C, F, and then the substitution of that could be C major 9, C7 sharp 9 augmented, and then you have F major 9. Alright, so we play F major 9 twice, and then C7 sharp 9 augmented, and then the F major 9 for 4 beats. So how do you play that? You put your second finger on the 6th string 8th fret, then you bar the 5th, 4th and 3rd string with the first finger, then you put your third finger on the 2nd string 8th fret, then your pinky on the 4th string 9th fret. That's C major 9. Then the C7 sharp 9 augmented, you put your second finger on the 6th string 8th fret, your first finger on the 5th string 7th fret, and then you bar the 4th and 3rd string on the 8th fret, then you put your pinky on the 2nd string 9th fret. And then to play the F major 9, you bar the 6th and the 5th string on the 8th fret, then you put your first finger on the 4th string 7th fret, your third finger on the 8th fret 2nd string, then your pinky on the 3rd string 9th fret. Okay? And another chord sequence, you can play C minor, and then F minor. So to substitute that, you can play C minor add 9 for 2 beats, then C7 flat 9 augmented for another 2 beats, and then the final chord you can play F minor 9 for 4 beats. One more time. Now, the reason why you divide the time is because it preserves the identity of the chord. It introduces a forward momentum the ear is prepared for, because the ear is prepared for resolution. Now, if you stay on the dominant chord for too long, it might sound like a full modulation. Now, if you guys don't know, the diminished chord is a unique chord that repeats every 3 frets. And the chord formula for the diminished chord is 1 flat 3rd, flat 5, flat, flat 7, or 6. The diminished chord has 4 notes, and the name of the chord is derived by any note within the chord. For example, the C diminished chord. It uses the notes C, E flat, F sharp, A. See? C, D sharp, F sharp, A. Now, because they repeat every 3 frets, and they all use the same notes every 3 frets, each of the chords can be substituted for one another. All right, so here we have C, D sharp, F sharp, A. C diminished. 1, 2, 3. Now we have E flat diminished. E flat, F sharp, A, C. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have F sharp, A, C, E flat. And then if we go one more time, 1, 2, 3, we now have A, C, E flat, F sharp. All right. So each time you play a chord, a diminished chord, if you play it 3 frets higher, they can be substituted for one another because they all use the same notes. All right, and to play this diminished chord, so let's play it in a different key. Let's play the C sharp diminished. Put your second finger on the 5th string, 4th fret. Your first finger on the 3rd string, 3rd fret. Your 3rd finger on the 4th string, 5th fret. And then your pinky on the 2nd string, 5th fret. It uses the notes C sharp, E, G, B flat. Let's play it 3 frets higher. 1, 2, 3. It uses the notes E, G, B flat, C sharp. That's all of the notes in the previous chord. And if you repeat it again, 1, 2, 3, that will be G diminished. The same notes. And if you guys don't know, the diminished chord is equivalent to a 7 flat 9 chord whose root is 1 fret lower than the root of the diminished chord. For example, C diminished, okay, is equivalent to B7 flat 9. All right. And why is that? It uses the C diminished uses the notes C, E flat, F sharp, A. The B7 flat 9 uses B, D sharp, F sharp, A, and then C. Because remember, the 9th of B is C sharp, but remember, because it's flat 9, it will go from C sharp to C. And if we decide not to play the root in the B7 flat 9, then we literally have the same notes in the B7 flat 9 in comparison to the C diminished chords. All right, so what I'm playing here, so I'm sure that we all know how to play the C diminished chord. So the B7 flat 9. So what I'm doing, I'm barring the 1st fret on the 4th, 3rd, 2nd string. Then I put my 2nd finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret. Then I'm putting my 3rd finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret, and then my pinky on the 1st string 2nd fret. All right, so we have B, D sharp, next string, B, D sharp, F sharp. So the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, flat 7th, and then flat 9th. All right. Now, when you're playing chords, your ear isn't thinking about chord names. It's hearing tension and release, stability and instability. So what is the purpose of chord substitutions? Chord substitutions is there to change the color, the tension, the direction, without breaking the underlying harmonic function, the harmonic logic, and without altering how it feels. Chord substitution replaces a chord with another chord that shares the same function, or produces a same voice leading outcome. So when a chord is going to the same resolution, it can be substituted for one another. Now, before chord substitutions, there has to be fundamental harmonies. So the fundamental harmonies comes first. But the chord substitution is what you do inside the functional harmonies. So in the fundamental harmonies, you have the tonic, which is the stability or rest. You have the predominant, which prepares and departs, the preparation and the departure. Then you have the dominant, all right, which creates tension and pull. And then we go back to the tonic, which is going back to the home chord. Okay, another example of that is this. We have C, D minor, G, C. So the C is the tonic. The D minor is the predominant. And then the G major is the dominant. And then C again, returning back to the tonic. Now, if we delve deeper into chord substitution, the only way chords can really be substituted for one another is if they have the same voice leading outcome, if they have the same tritone, the same dominant function, and the same resolution target. For example, G7, C. You can replace it with D flat 7, C. All right. So G7 to C. You can replace the G7 with D flat 7. And one of the main reasons is because they share the same tritone. So what is a tritone? A tritone is when one note is 3 whole tones or 6 semitones apart from each other. Okay, in terms of fret. So if we play G, so G is here. Whole tone, whole tone, whole tone. We have D flat 7. But they are not just only related from roots, from the root of the chord. They are also tritone apart internally. The third of G, the third of the G7 is B, all right? B. The third of the D flat is F, all right? B, whole tone, whole tone, whole tone. 3 whole tones, we have F. B, C sharp, D sharp, F. So not only are the roots a tritone apart, but also the third within both chords. So how does this relate to the chord substitutions? Because chord substitutions relies on shared function. So because the G7 and the D flat 7 have they share a tritone, they can be substituted for each other. Why? Because they're both going to the same outcome. All right? They have the same resolution. So because they have the same resolution, they can be substituted for one another. And because they can be substituted for each other, the ear perceives the same pull towards the tonic. So tritones relate to chord substitution because they define the essential tension in a dominant chord. And two chords sharing the same tritone can be substituted for each other while preserving the dominant function. Now, some of you might be wondering, what is the dominant function? Dominant function is the row of a chord that creates tension and a sense of forward motion, strongly pulling towards the tonic chord for resolution. And look at it this way. Functional harmony is equivalent to grammar. Chord substitution equals synonyms. And what are synonyms? Synonyms are basically different names for chords that share the same notes, allowing them to be used interchangeably. Like I've mentioned before, C diminished can be substituted with B7 flat 9. And it's not just with that chord. Any diminished chord that has a 7 flat 9 chord that is 1 fret lower than the root of the diminished chord can be substituted because they use the same notes except from the root of the 7 flat 9 chord. Thank you for watching today's lesson. Guitar Lessons by E.O.A. Stay tuned for more.